Here's a quote from someone who has just woken up and is thrilled. Okay, and I want you to guess who it is, okay? So, a day that I will never forget. I still feel like I'm in a dream. He's answered all questions, and in a way that I expected. Now everything is clear. He begins to speak. What a voice, what gestures, what passion, just like I wanted him to be. I can barely control myself. I await every word, and every word proves me right. I hadn't expected that much. Everyone stands up and shouts, cheers, claps, waves, and screams. I am standing outside at the window and cry like a toddler. I am a different man. Now I know the one who leads is born to be a leader. I am ready to sacrifice everything for this man. Who would you guess that is? Could be a Trump supporter, right? I mean, they go to a Trump rally and that's how they wake up and feel like they've solved reality. It's so exciting. It's actually Joseph Goebbels, Hitler's media man, just swooning on his first witnessing of Hitler in action. Trumpists aren't into policy. Trumpists are not into the future of America. They are into the scornography and glotaholicism of being a Trumpist. It's like you put on the jersey for the team and suddenly you're right, righteous and mighty. He says he's a different man, but he also says this confirms everything I've always thought. Now, I've been arguing for a while now that we're not doing everything we can to deal with the Trump movement, and largely because we are not yet comfortable enough dealing with them one-on-one. The guardrails are down across the country. The only guardrails we have left are public opinion. We have got to get better at dealing one-on-one with Trumpists. So my question has long been, how do you humbly humble or humiliate humans who will say or do anything to avoid human humility? And I think we're not good at it for some very simple reasons. One is that they will do anything to make sure that they don't have to admit to any human humility. They are herobotic. They are robotically playing hero. And they're doing it with moralizing terms, and that's what I want to talk about today. There are all of these loaded, load-bearing, loosely defined last words that swim around in our vocabularies. Loaded meaning that they sound either really good or really bad, like MAGA sounds good to them and woke sounds bad to them. They are load-bearing in that people can rest their identities on them. I am MAGA, I'm not woke, okay? They're loosely defined because that way you get the most people joining the movement. Make America great again. Very ill-defined. What do we mean by that? Everybody would like to bring back something about America. Get in line. But they don't want to define them because if they had to define them, that would make them have to commit to sacrifices and all of that. They'd rather just use them as loaded, load-bearing last words. That is, shut up. No deed too dirty for a saint like me because I'm MAGA. But we also have non-branded terms like that. Take the word negativity. It sounds bad. You should not be negative, which is absurd when you think about it because it's saying negativity is a no-no. Okay? You should not be judgmental, which is itself a judgment, right? You shouldn't be judgmental. Commit yourself to flexibility. You should always be open-minded, that kind of thing. You notice the paradox in there. These are terms that negate themselves. They're hypocritical terms. We have lots of them. They're loaded, load-bearing, loosely defined last words, and they're not branded, except in the hands of a glotaholic. So the Trumpists have a definition for woke. It means anybody who disagrees with them. That's all it means to them. And we try to defend wokeness as if it's a virtue. We've been trying for the last 10, 11 years to prove that we're the good guys. When they go low, we go high, that sort of thing. They go low or high. They don't care about what these words mean, but they wield them to get us to back off. So if you're talking to a Trumpist, they'll say, you're being hateful, because the idea is you should hate hatred. And even though we could see through that, we still react to it. We still back off. We still get defensive. And then they say, you're being defensive, as if it's very clear that you're not defending yourself. You're being defensive, which proves you're wrong. We have got to get over that. And if you do, you will find yourself much more capable and competent and calm and confident, calmly confident, in dealing with the Trumpists. So, for example, I get told that I'm a name caller by Trumpists. They say, you shouldn't be a name caller. Have you noticed that calling someone a name caller is name calling? So what I'm suggesting is, if you start to look at those loaded terms, when someone says, don't be judgmental, a judgment that they're making about you, or shame on you for shaming me, as if no one should ever shame anyone, you get to this more relaxed place. If you can actually look at those terms, figure out that they're loaded, load-bearing, loosely defined last words, and then relax into it. They're accusing you of things that humans do. Another example, when they say you're not being loving or you're not being caring, no, of course, all humans don't love everything. You can't love everything. You don't have enough love to do that. You can give lip service to loving everything, but you can't actually love everything. So when they say you're unloving or you're uncaring, what they're saying is you don't love me the way I demand that you do. You should care about me. My response to that stuff is, well, of course I'm unloving and uncaring sometimes. I'm not trying to be loving about everything. I'm trying to decide what to love and what not to love. When they say, you're a name caller, they say, of course I am. Like you, like everyone. You just called me name caller. I'm not trying to be a name caller or not be a name caller. I'm trying to name call accurately. When they say, well, don't generalize. You people are always generalizing. Do you hear the hypocrisy in there? You say, of course, I'm trying to generalize carefully. And you're just pretending that you don't generalize when you just did. There's great liberation in unpacking these loaded, load-bearing, loosely defined last words. And notice that they're just using them to bully you. That's all they're doing with them. They don't actually pay attention to the morality questions around this stuff. They're just moralizing. They're just pretending that the universe is on their side. And they're pulling out their butts whatever terms make them look virtuous and make you look evil. If you can get over that, then you can relax and just have a conversation with them, human to human. Humans who do love, humans who do hate. All humans love, all humans hate. When you think about it, what is love? It's a really strong preference. Well, all preferences are relative. The more you love one thing, the more you hate its opposite. If you love equality a lot, you will hate inequality. That's just how love works. So this idea that, love is the answer and everybody should be loving of everything all the time, nonsense. That's just not how life actually works. We have limited love budgets and we have limited care budgets, what I call our fuss budgets, what we can afford to fuss over. We prioritize. And we stunt our growth on figuring out what to prioritize when we use these loaded, load-bearing terms. I am a conservative liberal. I'm a libertarian socialist. I'll argue you are too. I think we're all dealing with the same questions, the same challenges. What to keep the same conservatively, what to change, loosen up, what to tighten, all of those kinds of questions. What to do for ourselves, what to do for the collective us. If you can start to recognize that this is stuff we're all dealing with and that the rest is just grandstanding. A conservative is not someone who believes in conserving everything. And to say, well, I'm not a conservative or I am a conservative, that's just loaded, load-bearing, loosely defined last words and grandstanding. It's not actually where the moral dilemmas appear for us. The moral dilemmas about what to change, what keep the same, what to tighten, what to loosen. So if you can get over these loaded, load-bearing, loosely defined last words, you will feel such relief. You will no longer feel defensive or try to defend yourself as though you're pure, as though you're only for love, as though you don't hate, as though you don't name call, as though you care about everything. That's ridiculous, and it stunts our growth. It stunts our collective growth on dealing with the problems we're dealt. Oh, by the way, while I got you here, we have a study group that meets every other Sunday at 9 o'clock in the morning on California time here. It's people who are dealing with the question of how to humbly humble humans who will say and do anything to avoid human humility. Mostly focused on the Trumpists these days because we're dealing with an epidemic of that right now. But really, it's about anyone who becomes an absolutist. And what is an absolutist? It's someone who is trying to stay absolutely free of any external influences. Someone who's declared themselves right, righteous, and mighty eternally. Someone who has gotten as consumed by their addiction to unconditional, eternal self-confidence. How do you deal with them? If you want to join us, you're welcome. It's free. I don't upsell to my consulting work. It's just humans from across the United States and beyond who get together for an hour and a half and explore different ways in which we can try to do a better job of getting through to these people who there's just no talking to, because I don't think we're good enough at it yet. I'm not satisfied with any of my solutions to it. The theme in that work is repertoire, not recipe. There is no simple formula, because their goal is to make sure that nothing works. The absolutists, that's all they're after. The rest is just ornamentation. It's just plumage. You know, they claim that they've got some brand, some lifestyle brand that is always right, righteous, and mighty. They could be religious. They could be leftist. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. What matters is that humans crave self-confidence. And some of us get addicted to endless quantities of it. And we got to figure out what to do about that, because what we're doing isn't working well enough. So come join us. Email address up there. Just email me and I'll put you on the list. You can join us. No obligation to show up. We don't take roll call. And then on top of that, I do consulting work, first half hour free, for people who are dealing with difficult people who are dealing with absolutists. And we come up with tailored strategies for your capabilities, what you're inclined to do about that person, what's within your repertoire, because we all have different temperaments, what's likely to get through to them, to humble them into a conversation with you, and also, when necessary, to poke them into conversation with you so that you get your mind back from dealing with these bullies. Come join. Email me if you're interested in either of those, okay? Thanks.